All right, hello world. So welcome back to our a mini project that we worked on this NoteSaver. So first of all, thank you for all for good support. Without you guys, I will never be where I'm at today. So thank you very much. Okay, so this is our NoteSaver project. If you haven't watched the previous two videos already, I will link that into the description down below, so you can check them out. But I will just go over the code anyway, since it's been a little bit while since we worked on this project. So first is the save note locally, which just essentially create a file and create a directory if necessary. And then just create a file, write some contents there, and save it. Next is save notes online, which we basically just save it to some website called Pastement. And then so the notes can also access online. Next is fetch all the notes. We just checked all the files in this notes folder because only notes will be inside of the notes folder, and then we just see how many files there are, return, and list. And now we got open the note, so basically how can we read a note? Got this multi-line input, so it's a way to let the user to type multiple lines. You can take a look at that in detail. Basically just have a forever loop, and then if user didn't type anything for 2 times, then we can break out of this forever loop. Finally, we can return text, which is a string. We'll also get the current date. So the reason we need current date is because current date will be part of our timestamp, where in the file name. Okay, the reason we will do that is because for the uniqueness, in case user created 2 notes with exactly the same title, then if we just try to create a file locally, it will overwrite each other. So with this timestamp, it can increase the uniqueness. And then finally, we got the generate ID for the notes. This is just for the ability to actually read the notes, a little bit. Okay. All right. So now we're going to work on CLI, or command line argument, for a little bit. Okay. It's not really going to be a huge, a fully fledged explanation about how this argparse is going to work, argument parser, but just serve as the introduction. Okay, so what we're going to do now is going to use this library, import argparse. Argparse is just a way to enable command line arguments. For example, you may see something like Python 3 app.py. So if you want to run an app.py using Python 3, this is how you might do it, right? So this is a command line interface. But now if we just take a look, I'm going to implement our own little command line interface. So in here, first we'll just say parser equals to argparse dot argument parser. All right, this is just a way to create a parser so that we can read some of the options that come after it. For example, if we want to read this app.py. So this is some a setup step. And then here we just say description. So what this is for? Well, it's just for NoteSaver. Just write that down. Okay. Once we create a parser, we need to go ahead and add an argument. So what can come after it? Right. So in here we can say parser. We can actually say parser dot add argument. Here we say command. That's our argument's name. So what command do they want to use? And the help will be, actually we're not going to provide a, actually we can say help is going to be command for accessing. There might be a better way to do this, but there's just a one way that's how it works. So if you're using there's a better way, just feel free to comment down below, and I will be sure to check that out as well. And here you can just say comment for accessing NoteSaver. All right. Now, in here now we're gonna somehow read the command, right? Somehow read this argument that user typed. For example, we want to get. If we want to implement something like Python 3, this command line, then we want to use something like this app. Then if we want to read app.py, so we know which Python file to execute. Well, then what we need to do is we need to go ahead and parse it using our argument parser. And in here, you can just say args equals to parser dot parse args. Okay, args equals to parser dot, excuse me for my phone noise, parse args. Okay, all right. And then in here, now what we can do is we can use args.command to access what command this user type. All right, command. So in here we can say if args.command equals to L, means I want to list everything, L for list. And in here what we'll do is we'll say note, excuse me, self.fetch all notes. Okay? And then in here we'll say if links of the notes, because notes is gonna be a list, is 0, then we can just say print no notes available. Why don't create one? Alright. Otherwise, in here just say print, here's all of your notes. And then in here we'll say self.gen id notes. And they're gonna put this notes list here. That's what we got from here. Alright, as that's a mandatory arguments. Okay, so we're gonna actually modify gen id a little bit because we're gonna say something like log equals true. When log by default is equals to true, what's gonna happen is in here we're gonna add if log, and they're gonna say print count I that splits by 2 hyphen bracket 1 that splits. Actually, that's about it. So this is just a way to get the file, to get the title of the file through our file name, because I essentially the file name, and the count is just like the ID of the notes. Okay. All right. And then in here, what we're gonna say is this is pretty much for L if the command is L, and then L if args.command equals to R. Read. What's gonna happen is you're gonna say self.gen id notes. Here we'll say self.fetch all notes. And then I'm gonna say false, because we do not want to lock the notes. Right? In here I just wanna get that I just wanna make sure it called, because what's gonna happen is once it's called, it's gonna set up something like the self.ns notes in our self, so we can use it in other arguments as well. But I don't want the user to see the process of it, so I'm not gonna print it out. So log equals false, because if log equals to true, it's just gonna print this ID display. All right, and then here we would say ID equals to inputs type ID of the notes. If you don't know, to use command L. Alright, now in here we'll say try print backslash 2 backslash contents, and then in here we'll say print self.openNote, and I'm gonna put our title self.ns bracket integer ID, because self.ns is just a notes list that we have. I mean notes dictionary, and it's gonna be listed by the ID. Okay, let's see what's wrong here. All right, 1 second. Let's do this. What's wrong with this? Oh, okay. Then here is the except key error, because if we cannot find this notes, then I'm just gonna say print self.open notes. Print notes unavailable, because if the user entered wrong ID, obviously that will not be in our little notes dictionary. All right. Finally, in here also is gonna use the elif args.command equals to C. Then here we want to say is title equals to input. Please go ahead and type a title for your notes. Print type contents of your notes. I know sometimes mix like a double quote, single quote together. I know that's not like a really good habit, because we either use single quote or double quote. But sometimes just do that for some reason. I will try to use all double quotes. So I'll try to manually change the source code. And then here I say note equals to self.get multi-line inputs. So user can just type their contents there. And then here I say self.save note local. Our title gonna be self.current date. Actually, it's current timestamp, year, date, year, month, date, hour, minute, second. And then here we'll say 2 hyphen, the actual title for the notes. All right. And then here we'll say note as the contents of what we want to say. All right. And then here I also want to save the notes online. Link equals to save save note online. And in here, now I don't have to use that timestamp anymore. So here I can just say title, comma, note. Save to pastebin. Finally, you can just say print f string. Done. You can also access your notes online at, gonna put the link here. All right. So that's kind of like the overall our CLI tool. You might ask, why do we use a command line interface rather than just a main function just with inputs? Well, the reason is we're actually going to deploy this as a package to pipe. And it will be interesting to see how will we be able to enable CLI while we deploy this package to pip. Okay? I heard of pip, it's just like the package management system for Python. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next video. Okay? So hope you enjoyed this little short videos where we just keep working on our NoteSaver. We'll pretty much finish most of it. I will let you know if there's something more that I want to talk about in the next video. But for now, I think that should be it for our NoteSaver. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or anything in general. If you do enjoy this video, please smash the like button and subscribe button if you haven't already. As always, stay safe and have a nice day. DevWithMe, out.